Regardless of the present, we believe you should never stop planning for your future, for your dreams, for your legacy. Your needs may change over time, but planning is a constant. And so are we. The ABA Retirement Funds Program has been helping the legal community save for a safe and secure financial future for almost 60 years. Our innovative fund menu is designed with participants in mind. We provide the highest standard of investment fiduciary protection under ERISA. We offer extensive resources and proactive customer support, no matter what. Built by lawyers, powered by pros. We deliver purposeful innovation that can help you weather any storm, combined with a unique culture that has helped us retain 99% of our clients year after year. We are a different kind of retirement plan.
Aloha. Welcome everybody to the HSBA 2020 annual meeting. It is historic. It is our first, certainly by circumstance, but our first virtual meeting. And we have done everything within our power to put together a remarkably interesting meeting, and here we go. I would like to acknowledge the participation of our Chief Justice. Mark Rechtenwald and I have worked together hand in hand, literally, the entire year. I am amazed by his skills and abilities, and I thank him. I thank our honored award recipients and the retiring judges for the years of dedication that they have provided to the judiciary, their family and friends, and of course, the HSBA leadership and staff. I could never have done it without you. It is a pleasure for me to thank all of those who helped this virtual bar convention be possible. The HSBA sections, the HSBA membership, and all of the presenters for offering extremely informative CLE programs. And of course, our participating sponsors and exhibitors. Let's face it, they pay us money so that we will support them, and I ask you to do that. A special mahalo to our diamond sponsor, the ABA Retirement Fund. Our gold sponsor, Mercer. Our silver sponsors, Han Discovery, Clio, Hemic, Hawaii PI, Smart Start, Thompson Reuters, and PSH Insurance. And of course, our bronze sponsor, LawPay. Please visit with every one of these sponsors to learn about their terrific products and services and how each of them can help you. I say again, they are supporting us monetarily so that we, as an association, will support them. I'd like a round of applause, quite frankly, loud and clear, for our Executive Director, Pat Mao Shimizu, the Director of Programs, Adrian Hayashi, and the entire staff of the HSBA for putting together this virtual BarCon. The proverbial behind the scenes work is unbelievably intense, and they work tirelessly, and they deserve our mahalo. Before we start our official program, let's do what we always do every year. Remember those that we need to, those who have passed away since our last bar exam. A moment of silence, please. Thank you all. Let's remember them forever. Now it's time to call our annual meeting to order. Normally, I'd be standing before you to do this, but of course, I can't do that now. I'm going to call to order with the appropriate quorum, which has been verified by the numbers of those of you who are now watching this program with our thanks. Your participation is vital. I'm calling to order the annual meeting of the HSBA and the Senior Council Division. First, a bunch of aloha and mahalo. I'd like to thank the 2020 HSBA board members for their service this past year. All who know me know that I am truly a people person. I like to be with those I respect the most, to look them in the eye and to say, thank you for everything you do. So I look at thumbnails, pictures of my board as you do now, and thank each one of them. I would much rather give a hug and a pat on the back and say, gosh, I couldn't have done it without you, but I'm going to do it this way. Our officers, Karen L. Homa, who was the president-elect, Levi Okano, our vice president, Russ S. Awakuni, secretary, Paul W. Nasso, treasurer. Neighbor Island directors, Geraldine N. Hasigawa from Hilo, Carol S. Kitaoka from Kona, Craig Anthony DaCosta from Kauai, Jacob Calais Lowenthal from Maui. Then we have our Oahu directors, Stephen J.T. Chow, Vladimir Vlad Devins, Jessica R. Domingo, William A. Harrison, Kristen E. Izumi Natao, Aaron M. Kobayashi, Jean H. Kwok, Corianne W. Lau, Mark K. Murakami, Ralph J. O'Neill, Zale T. Okazaki, and of course, our young lawyer division president, Addison Dale Bonner. Again, I say to all of you, and please, our membership, say to all of them, mahalo. Their work was unbelievably skilled, relevant, and important. I really need to say an extra mahalo plani to our treasurer. Thank you to our treasurer, Paul Nasso, for his hard work. And I'm going to ask you, you numbers people, to download the financial report from the chat box for the summary of our HSBA fiscal soundness. It will tell you clearly how well we managed in a admittedly absolutely unforeseen, if not crisis situation. And the minutes of our board meetings, which are interesting and relevant, can be found at the HSBA website if you desire to look at them. And I ask you, from me to you, that you do that. It will instill in you a desire going forward to work with the HSBA at whatever level you'd like to. We need you. We need your help. I'm now going to turn to something a bit more personal. Personal to me because it is my president's report, the Bar Convention President's Report. Aloha again, everybody, for participating and appearing and being here with us today virtually. It is in a historic annual 2020 meeting. Now, 1 year ago, as I reflect, when the Chief Justice administered to me the oath of office at our annual BarCon a year ago, with my wife in the audience, my adult kids now living on the mainland, there in spirit and heart, I was so humbled and honored at the prospect of moving forward and leading our bar association. Many of the 3 dot, the seasoned old timers, might remember my late father, gone all too early but I believe it's number 776. I'm a third generation attorney. So to have led this association means more to me than I could ever imagine. And I thought so hard a year ago about how well I wanted to do. And I tried to express that in the first edition of our Hawaii Bar Journal. I wasn't to start my term, of course, calendar, till January 1. But as is tradition, the president, right after being installed, starts to work. I put together my committees. I talk story with people I trust and value. I talk to former bar presidents to get counsel and to learn and to know what to expect. And I did all of this based upon history and tradition. I was excited to get moving forward. Then, of course, in January, we started to hear of some kind of threat of health in Wuhan, China. And in February, we began to get reports that maybe that threat, that medical threat, was going to go worldwide. And by March, we had stay-at-home orders in Hawaii. We had no choice but to literally change our lives. So my report, my president's message, focuses on three things that I thought about during this entire year: adaptability, resiliency, and community. Adaptability, we were all forced to modify our practice of law. We had to do it so quickly because of those stay-at-home orders and the CDC guidelines, all new to us. We had no choice as practitioners. We had no choice as judges or members of the judiciary. We had to pivot. We had to move at warp speed. We had to create remote working schedules, and we had to use IT, especially Zoom and WebEx capabilities and applications. We had to have meetings with clients online, and we had to make arrangements for remote court hearings. Go figure, who knew? But we did it. We did it together. Even traditional practitioners like myself, with about 35 years of experience, it is not, I know you find this hard to believe, not Mr. IT, had to figure it out. With my paralegal at my side, making sure that I did it right, I did, in fact, figure it out. The courts had to move from in-person systems to remote systems because we couldn't, constitutionally or otherwise, compromise the right of people, our community, who seeks justice, to come before the courts. It was difficult for our court system to do that. We had compact, small courtrooms. We didn't have IT infrastructure in many of them. We had a continuing state budget, which literally provided us no money. So what did our Chief Justice do? He did what he always does. He moved proactively. He created the Committee on Operational Solutions, and every week, turning into every month, that committee looked at how we were going to move forward. It created subcommittees on technology, on jury trials, on self-represented litigants, and one thing became crystal clear. In fact, the litigants were almost more comfortable in IT and technology and Zoom and WebEx applications than were the practitioners. But everybody is balancing out because we adapt, we figure it out, and in fact, we did. We did it, and we did it together. Resiliency, the next theme I speak of. Changes were, in fact, very difficult for us, but attorneys are quite frankly resilient and resourceful. We might get a bad rap once in a while, but the reality is exactly as I say. We figure stuff out. We changed our client marketing plans as managing attorneys for firms, senior partners in firms, associates driven to keep their jobs and continue to work for their clients. We bought Zoom licenses by the dozens. We all did. We equipped our computers with cameras and microphones and brought them up to speed because, let's face it, most of us had something back in the dinosaur age because you could use that back then. You cannot now. We are forced into the IT technical age at light speed. Our legal industry has changed, and I submit to each of you, it has changed forever going forward, regardless of how long this COVID crisis continues. Weren't there days, as I spoke of resiliency, weren't there days where you would cruise around downtown to talk story with colleagues, to grab lunch with them, to go to the court facilities to pick up, drop off, and you'd see colleagues and friends and you'd say, hey, how's it? You look great. How you been? How's business? How's life? How's the family? We don't do that now. Everything is IT. Everything is virtual. Are those days gone forever? As one known as a very touchy-feely, hard on the sleeve fellow, I hope not. I hope we get back to those days. That's Hawaii. That's our life. But you know what? Even if we never do, we are resilient. We have met the challenges. We will continue to meet the challenges, and we will move forward together. The last area I speak of, and thank you for your time. This means a lot to me. Community. This confusion, this turmoil continues to make us as practitioners know that we still need to help the populace, the people, the folks that come to us to problem solve. We are doing it with amazing galvanized abilities. We were quick to help. Every aspect of our legal world was quick to help. A couple of examples. The Legal Aid Society of Hawaii was able to put on training sessions immediately to help people with evictions and to help the responses and to create at least a chance for folks to still have a place to live by moratoriums. They reached hundreds of thousands of people in car distribution during the car food distribution to give them information about SNAP benefits and other legal entitlements and concerns. The Domestic Violence Action Center did a fantastic job and continues to do a great job with effective media campaigns to advise those who need the most help, protection, and they're getting it even in the IT age. Volunteer Legal Services of Hawaii continues landlord-tenant training and outreach to keep people informed about landlord-tenant rights and other related rental concerns. From our HSBA office, I am proud, and you know this, they have literally become the town crier. They notify practitioners and everybody in our legal community of orders literally in real time. Everything to do with the court orders, everything to do with ADA requirements and compliances. When it comes out, it goes out. You don't even need to log on to any account. It goes to you as a member and as a benefit of being a member of our HSBA. We partnered with the courts for town hall meetings. Our Chief Justice and all administrative judges, the senior judges sat before hundreds of practitioners virtually and told us how each court works and what they could do for us. We co-hosted a Zoom court proceeding training. I went virtually. It was fantastic, done recently by Judge James Kawashima. It was great. We are literally, our staff, our HSBA is recognized throughout the state now, maybe more than ever, as an untapped resource for all state agencies in need. We volunteer for anybody. We answered the call for the backlog of unemployment insurance claims. We worked with them. We answered the call of the Lieutenant Governor for volunteer contract tracers. We did that. We responded to the call from the Hawaii Food Bank and its affiliates on Kauai, Maui, the Big Island for monetary donations. Lawyers can give money, even in crisis. Lawyers will give money. And led by our president-elect, who I put in charge of this, Karen Homa. Karen, thank you. We wanted to raise $40,000. Well, folks, guess what we did? In 3 weeks, we raised over $75,000. I end saying we did this together to accomplish great things, fantastic things in a time of crisis. I end with a little bit of emotional closing. It was a real challenge this year for the HSBA staff, for the HSBA board, and for me as the current 2020 president. But we pivoted, we reacted. Sometimes we retreated and regrouped, but then we came storming forward. And as your 2020 president, I would never have had it any other way. It's not Custer's last stand, but it certainly was a struggle, but we did it together. It has been an exceptional honor to be your president this past year. Mahalo to everybody who supported me and continues to support me from literally the bottom of my virtual heart. I say thank you. We now move on and we press on, and thank you again for being here and staying with us. And thank you for listening to what for me was a very personal message to you. We would like now to honor our judges, those who have retired this past year in 2020 for all of their distinguished service on the bench. The Honorable Alexa D.M. Fujisi, Associate Judge, Intermediate Court of Appeals. Almost 16 years of distinguished service on the ICA bench. The Honorable Hillary Benson Gagnes, District Court, First Circuit. Almost 18 years at the District Court judgeship level after serving 5 years before that as a per diem judge. The Honorable Lono J. Lee, District Court, First Circuit. Over 16 years at the District Court, the last 3 as the Deputy Chief Judge. The Honorable Paul T. Murakami, Family Court, First Circuit. 18 years on the bench and 7 years as a per diem judge before that. The Honorable Stephen M. Nakashima, District Family Court, First Circuit. 4 years at the district court level and over 9 years as a district family judge. The Honorable Clarence A. Picaro, District Court, First Circuit, over 17 years as a district court judge, and he continues to this day and beyond to serve as a per diem judge. Mahalo for that, Judge. The Honorable Richard W. Pollack, Associate Justice, Hawaii Supreme Court. 8 years on the Supreme Court, and before that, 12 dedicated years as a circuit court judge. The Honorable Melvin H. Fujino, Circuit Court, Third Circuit. 7 years at the District Family Court and 4.5 years at Circuit Court, and a wonderful friend of mine and bar exam mate. Aloha, Mel. Thank you to all of these retiring judges and to all judges that continue to serve in 2020 and beyond for the service to the bench and, more importantly, to the service of the people of Hawaii. We're going to move on to the fun stuff now. It's the awards presentations. It is my distinct pleasure to present, and it's our distinct pleasure as the HSBA to present the annual HSBA Awards to some amazingly extraordinary people and groups and entities, to recognize them, each of them, for doing justice to the legal profession and bringing honor to the legal profession and helping the community at large. I'm going to turn it over now, please, to the HSBA Awards Committee co-chairs who put this all together with their committee, Mark Murakami and Aaron Kobayashi, to announce this year's awards recipients.
The award committee is tasked with reviewing nominations for various Hawaii State Bar Association awards and making recommendations with respect to the recipients of these awards to HSBA's Board of Directors. Mark and I want to recognize and thank Rhonda Griswold, who served on the committee and assisted us with this process. In addition to the President's Award, there are 7 awards that the HSBA can give. Of these, 3 awards are given each year. This year, the HSBA will be giving the Champion for Social Justice, Kie, and Ikena Awards.
The Champion for Social Justice Award was established in 2010 and recognizes an attorney for courageous legal work in the face of public controversy that helps promote the interests of justice and preserves the integrity of the judiciary. Cynthia Tai has been doing incredible work under the radar for most of us. One of her nominators described Cynthia in this way: the guiding light in Cynthia's career is her commitment to ensuring that the most vulnerable members of our society have access to justice. During this past summer and continuing today, we see protesters pleading for social justice. Cynthia's legal career embodies doing social justice. Cynthia, who lives in Kona, has been a prosecutor at the International Criminal Court in The Hague, where she prosecuted not only crimes against humanity, but also war crimes. How many of us can say we've done that? In 2016, Cynthia founded Project Expedite Justice, an organization that empowers survivors of mass atrocities, including training local investigators and lawyers on how to document and preserve evidence of these kinds of crimes. This organization has impacted victims' lives across the world, including providing victims of human trafficking in Cambodia with a venue by which to hold their traffickers accountable. The organization also advocates for victims of the al-Bashir bombing campaign against civilians in Sudan. Ms. Tai is currently the executive director of Project Expedite Justice, and we would recommend going to their website at projectexpeditejustice.org to read more about this organization and Cynthia's continuing work for social justice. We are honored to recognize Cynthia Tai with this year's Champion for Social Justice Award.
First given in 1989, this award recognizes an attorney for outstanding provision of professional legal services at no charge to the recipient, such as extraordinary expenditure of pro bono time in cases above and beyond the normal expenditure of pro bono time within one's employment. Today, we honor attorney Ian Wesley Smith for the Kie Award. Ian is an associate at the Carl Smith Ball Law Firm. In his role as a volunteer lawyer in the Hawaii District Civil Pro Bono Panel, Ian was the lead lawyer for a pro se plaintiff in a civil matter, Cameron Raymond versus Wilcox Memorial Hospital. For those of you who are not familiar with this program, the federal district bench identifies cases before it where the judge feels that a pro se litigant is unable to adequately represent themselves. Usually, these cases are of a limited nature, as was the case in this matter. For over 2 years, Mr. Wesley Smith and his team worked on Mr. Raymond's case, and after the jury trial, the jury returned a verdict in favor of Mr. Raymond in the total amount of $700,000, and 100% liability was found against the defendant, Wilcox Memorial Hospital. Quoting Federal District Judge Leslie Kobayashi, remarkably, the Raymond trial was Mr. Wesley Smith's first jury trial as a trial attorney. He worked extremely hard and diligently for Mr. Raymond for almost 2 years, and the results were extraordinary. Judge Kobayashi also states, access for justice is sorely lacking in our community. If not for those like Mr. Wesley Smith and his law firm, Carl Smith Ball, who are willing to undertake representation, ordinary individuals like Mr. Raymond whose lives have been detrimentally harmed are simply denied an opportunity to pursue their cases fairly. In reaching out to Mr. Wesley Smith, he said he couldn't have handled the case for Mr. Raymond without the support and hard work of his team, and especially his fellow associate, Derek Simon. We are honored to recognize Ian Wesley Smith with this year's Kia Award.
Before we go on, I wanted to say that as a partner at Carl Smith, I recused myself from deliberation on the previous award. The Ikeno Award was first given in 1992. This award recognizes an individual, attorney or non-attorney, or entity for outstanding service to the public or profession towards legal education. Today, we honor Momi Casimiro. In his nomination, Chief Justice Recktenwald states, Momi is quite simply among the most passionate, enduring, and effective advocates for an independent judiciary in our state, and has been an ardent supporter of increased education to achieve that end. Ms. Casimiro was Chief Justice Herman Lum's appointee to the Judicial Selection Commission, serving in this capacity from 1983 to 1989. From this experience, Momi became a lifelong supporter of a justice system where judges are selected and retained based upon merit. In 2000, Chief Justice Moon appointed Ms. Casimiro to the Judicial Evaluation Review Panel, and in this capacity, she has engaged with many justices and judges about how each of them can better serve the public. Momi Casimiro is also deeply involved with the American Judicature Society, serving as the chair of its Standing Committee on Judicial Education. Ms. Casimiro's other community involvement is vast, including previously serving on the University of Hawaii Board of Regents and as a trustee of the Queen's Health System. C.J. Recktenwald sums it up this way: Momi's lifelong service to the people of Hawaii is that of a living treasurer. We are honored to recognize Momi Casimiro with this year's Ikena Award.
Thank you to the hardworking awards committee for their work in recommending these very deserving members of our legal community and beyond. And all the nominators, and there were so many of you who wrote so many detailed, great supportive nominations, for taking that time to recognize outstanding candidates. Congratulations to our award recipients and retiring judges for everything you do for the legal community and for the general public. It means everything, not only to HSBA and to practitioners and judges, but to the state of Hawaii. We do have another award to present. This is the HSBA President's Award, which recognizes individuals or entities for extraordinary contributions and lifetime achievement that best exemplify the mission statement of the Hawaii State Bar Association: to unite and to inspire Hawaii's lawyers, to promote justice, to serve the public, and improve the legal profession. It gives me great honor because I select the recipients. Great personal honor to recognize co-recipients. The Attorneys and Judges Assistance Program, guided by Executive Director Liam M. Deely, and co-recipient, the Hawaii Task Force on Lawyer Well-Being, co-chaired by Associate Justice of the Supreme Court Sabrina McKenna and HSBA past president Louise Ng. I'll tell you a little bit about my thinking and about this award. As many in our profession and in the legal community well know, these two entities have stepped up to meet and address the ever-increasing need of our HSBA lawyers, an increased need never before seen or experienced, as each of us tries our very best sometimes against very daunting pressures brought on by this silent virus, to remain as productive and as relevant and as hardworking to our firms, to our families, to our clients, to the legal community, and to ourselves. And it's daunting and difficult. Each of these devoted entities are here for every lawyer and every member of the legal community. And each continues to help us through, quite frankly, a radically unpredicted year of COVID-19. They have each been forced literally to do a lifetime of work every day of this challenged year. And I can think of no finer co-recipients of the 2020 HSBA President's Award than these two. The mission of the Attorney's Assistance Program is to provide immediate and continuing confidential assistance to lawyers, judges, and law students who suffer from problems, disability, or impairment, which affect their professional performance for any reason. There is perhaps no more important, if not extraordinary, service, in my opinion, that can be performed this year in 2020 in the face of this pandemic than those performed by the assistance program every single day and delivered and provided to our legal community in the hope that a balanced and unimpaired attorney will provide and deliver good work to the island folks in need of legal services. And by doing so, a balanced and unimpaired attorney will continue to bring honor and esteem to our already exemplary reputation of our lawyers and judges in the eyes of the Hawaii public. The Hawaii Task Force on Lawyer Wellbeing, based on a national task force that was created by the ABA, was created here to promote awareness and recognition of issues related to attorneys' well-being. It was established by the Hawaii Supreme Court by 2 independent orders to assess and to evaluate the recommendations of that ABA National Task Force. And it consists of professionals from the legal, the judicial, the psychological, and educational sectors of our state, and service providers in our community. And this task force in Hawaii has a goal of implementing recommendations as needed in our unique island culture and state and its legal community, equally as unique. Their recommendations will no doubt benefit our legal and judicial communities, and by extension, our island citizens in need of legal services. The work and efforts of the assistance program and the Hawaii Task Force are keeping, in my opinion, truly keeping Hawaii lawyers as balanced and as stable and as positive-minded as possible. And it is so needed because of this unexpected virus. And by doing this day in and day out, the public continues to benefit from the delivery of competent, quality, fine legal services, and our profession as a result continues to maintain a great reputation, which can do nothing but improve our overall reputation in the eyes of the public. So for each of these reasons, many very personal to me, it's my privilege and my honor that I present the HSBA President's or Distinguished Service Award for 2020 to the co-recipients, the Hawaiian Judges Assistance Program and the Hawaii Task Force on Lawyers' Wellbeing. Before I go on and conclude with my remarks in this program, I really want to, from the heart and again personally, thank the musical talents of several folks who are connected to me intricately and intimately by our brotherhood. Yes, the Red and Blue St. Louis Brotherhood. And each of these fine musicians was to play at the annual bar dinner and fundraiser, but we know we had to move on from there to here. So we mahalo them here for what they would have done there. It includes Bobby Hall, original member of the Peter Moon Band. Glenn Medeiros, we know him from yesteryear on Kauai. And Jason Mejia of Ovai La and his great musical group. Mahalo to all of you for helping a brother out and bringing such great musical talents. It's now a privilege and of course always an honor for me to call upon our Chief Justice, Mark Rechtenwald, to say a few words about our partner and about a very important foundation, that being the Hawaii State Bar Foundation.
My name is Mark Rechtenwald. I'm the Chief Justice of the Hawaii Supreme Court. Public service has been something I've always cared deeply about. And what could be a better job than going to work in the morning with the goal of providing justice to your community? Folks turn to their courts and they look for them to be fair, to provide justice, to help them be able to resolve the difficult problems in their life, and to be part of that process is absolutely amazing. One way that the Hawaii State Bar Foundation has really made a difference is supporting our Courts in the Community program. It's very hard for ordinary members of our community, students particularly, to come and see an oral argument in person. So we had the idea of taking our court out into high schools across the state and give students the opportunity to watch an actual case be argued before the court, and actually come to understand that it's a system that has integrity, that is fair. And I could talk about those things until I'm blue in the face, but there's no substitute for seeing it in action. And because of the Hawaii State Bar Foundation's support, we've been able to bring this program to 15 different sites across the state over the last 8 years or so. More than 5,000 students have come to these oral arguments, and we've had students from 63 different schools. So it's an incredible educational experience for them. And I think it really humanizes the court, and most importantly, I think it provides a real in-person example of how this is a system that has integrity, that it is fair, that we ask tough questions of both sides, and it's something that's worthy of their trust and confidence. So really, it's critical. We simply couldn't do it without the foundation's support.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice, for that very important message about our Hawaii State Bar Foundation. Thank you to all members who participated in our annual HSBA board election. It takes courage, commitment, devotion, and a spirit of volunteer philanthropic drive. We really appreciate your contribution. As you may know, our esteemed colleague, Karen Homa, who was to be the 2021 HSBA president, was just appointed and confirmed to serve as a district court judge in the First Circuit. A distinguished honor, well deserved. But that throws a bit of a wrench into our traditional way of doing things year after year. So we're really happy for her, immensely thrilled. The entire association and all its members should really be proud of all who make the bench. She's going to be a great judge. The HSBA board, however, will really discuss in earnest at our next meeting a succession plan, a plan for 2020 moving forward. We'll get this figured out for you, for all of us. But presently, here are the officers and directors for 2021, and I'm extremely proud of all of them and proud to announce their names. President-elect Levi Ho'okano. Vice President Rhonda Griswold. Treasurer, Alika Piper. Secretary, Russ Awakuni. Congratulations to those officers. Moving to the directors of our neighbor islands. East Hawaii Director, Geraldine Hasigawa. Maui Director, Jacob Lowenthal. Kauai Director, Craig DaCosta. And West Hawaii Director, Carol Kitaoka. Congratulations to them. Moving on to the Oahu directors, in alphabetical order, of course. Stephen Chow, Vladimir Vlad Devens, Jessica Domingo, William Bill Harrison, Kristen Izumi Natao, Aaron Kobayashi, Jean Kwok, Mark K. Murakami, Paul Nasso, Zale Okazaki, and Ralph O'Neill. Congratulations to each of them. A fabulous board to serve us all in 2021. I now am going to turn over the proceedings to our Senior Council Division President, Gregory Louis Kwan, who is here to announce the 2021 Senior Council Division Board members.
Hi, this is Greg Louis Kwan. It has been an honor for me to serve as president of the Senior Council Division for the year 2020. I now have the results for the election of the 2021 board members. But before I announce the election results, I would like to thank the 2020 board members for their service and for helping with the monthly informative coffee hours. Now, here are the results of the 2021 election for Senior Council Division. 2021 Senior Council Division President, Carol Richelieu. Vice President, President-elect Gilbert Doles. Secretary, Ian Sanderson. Treasurer, Michael Lilly. Oahu Directors, Michelle Alarcon, Rosemary Fazio. Myself, Scott Mokuakane. And continuing on the Senior Council Division Board will be Oahu Directors, Kenneth Wong and Michael Wong. And continuing on the Senior Council Division Board for the neighbor islands will be Jonathan Chun for Kauai, Charlene Iboshi for the Big Island, and Michael Ratz for Maui. Well, that's pretty much a wrap for the 2021 election results. It is my honor next to introduce the Young Lawyers Division President for 2020, Addison Bonner.
Thank you, Greg, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Addison Bonner, your soon-to-be former WildD president, but I have 2 more months, and right now I have the pleasure of introducing you to the 2021 WildD board. So let's start with the officers. First, we have 2021 President, Chris St. Shore. Mr. St. Shore is a hard-working civil litigator. He's been a fantastic board member to work with over the last 2 years. Most recently, he's taken the lead on our biggest project. It's the high school mock trial, and he actually brought participation by schools and by teams from schools up to a record number last year. With Chris, I know for sure the WildD will be in good hands. Next, we have Vice President, President-elect Jasmine Wong. She's going into her 2nd year on the board and has jumped right in and made a big impact. In addition to all the time she spends with the Young Lawyers Division, she is also Hawaii's WildD delegate to the American Bar Association. Next, Treasurer Leo Shimizu. Leo is also going into his 2nd year on the board, but he stepped up to run one of our another big project, the Junior Judges Program. Typically, it involves sending dozens of volunteer lawyers into classrooms across the state to work directly with elementary school age students. But this year, like a lot of things like this bar convention, we're going virtual. Never done it before. Leo has taken the lead on the logistics, and I'm confident that with him looking at everything, we're gonna have another successful year of junior judges done virtually. Next, we have Secretary Melissa Asato. She's also going into her second year on the board, but she's been involved for quite some time, actually. In fact, she managed to secure corporate sponsorship last year for our t-shirts that we volunteer lawyers used during Law Week. So we all look sporty out there, sitting at the tables out in the community, answering people's legal questions. Next, we have the Oahu directors. New to the board, both Kelsey Nagata and Mallory Martin. Also new to the board, Lisa Yang and Jason Adanaya. And two more new to the board directors, Matthew Wire and Taylor Gray. And returning for their second year, Ryan Kanakaole and Sabrina Kawana. For East Hawaii director, new to the board, Sean Yamada. And for West Hawaii director, returning for her second year, Nicole Bowman. New to the board, we have Kauai director, Renee Arndt. And returning for her second year, we have Maui director, Kristen Spies Marcello. You know, before I move any further, I want to take the opportunity now to say thank you. Thank you so much to my 2020 board. As you can see, what we've been doing for our meetings, we've been having to meet together separately by Zoom, as you can see from that top right picture. But it wasn't always this way. You know, we all remember the happier times when we could get together, literally together, and have a meeting and then go have a nice meal together, you know, have a little pauhana at a restaurant, like in that bottom picture there. But, you know, despite the challenges, the unexpected nature of this year, you know, my board's been fantastic. Everyone's stepped up and accommodated and made the changes necessary to get our projects done to the extent that they were doable, despite the circumstances. So thank you very much. I especially want to say thank you to these individuals who you haven't heard their names before because they'll be terming off the board this year. So first, Kylie Nakasone, she's our current secretary and just a fantastic secretary. She has the best minutes, always accurate, always timely, very detailed, just excellent. Thank you. We have Tiffany Kaeo, who is our current treasurer. She's done a great job being the treasurer this year. We have Christy Leigh Hessler. She has been in charge of the legal lines every week, making sure we have volunteers manning the phone lines. And she's done a good job, not an easy job to do either. We have Michi Momose, who is just about the most reliable person I know. She's one of those people who she's up for any task, and once you give her the task, you know it's going to be done, and you know it's going to be done well. So thank you. We also have Keldon Waltgen, who is our current East Hawaii director, and fun fact, is married to the incoming East Hawaii director, Sean Yamada. Mr. Waltgen, as some of you might recognize his name from having been in the prosecutor's race on the Big Island. He won that race, and so come the end of the year, he will be the Big Island prosecutor. We have Daniel Padilla, who I've worked with on the board for a number of years, and another one who give him a task, let him run any project, he will take care of it, and it's going to come out excellent. So thank you, Daniel. And we have Marissa Agena, the current Kauai director, who has just done a fantastic job, especially with the mock trial teams. They always have a good interest there, and she gets them together, and they're always very competitive when they play the Oahu teams. Thank you to my board. And now I have the pleasure of presenting the 2020 YOD Award. And that award is called the Justice Award. And this year's award winner is attorney Ted Chihara. His office is on Kauai. Mr. Chihara was nominated by Kim Torigui Mr. Chihara has been a high school mock trial coach since 1984. So another fun fact, what that means is Mr. Chihara has been a high school mock trial coach for as long as anyone who is a member of the Young Lawyers Division has been alive. In that capacity over the last 36 years, Mr. Chihara has been a role model and a mentor to hundreds of high school students. He has coached generations of mock trial participants. And I mean that very literally. Like, he coached some kids in high school in 1984, and those kids grew up and they had children, and now he is coaching those children. Incredible. He's led students to 12 state championships, the first of those being the year after Hurricane Iniki hit. One of his teams has even gone so far as to place second and in competition across the nation. He also led the only Hawaii teams to compete in New York's Empire Mock Trial Invitational, Colorado's Providence Cup Invitational, and the 2015 Hawaii-Nebraska Invitational. Among Mr. Chihara's proudest accomplishments in coaching is the fact that many of his students actually credit him for the fact that they got into college. And they attributed that to the fact that Mr. Chihara works with his students to develop their critical thinking skills. Thank you and congratulations, Mr. Chihara. And now back to our esteemed and talented bar president, Greg Fry, for the swearing in of the 2021 presidents.
Congratulations to the recipients of the Liberty Bell Award and the Justice Award, and to all the newly elected officers and directors. You will take our association to higher and better and soaring heights. Thank you to everybody for your volunteer service to the bar. You have no idea what it means to me personally, having been your leader for this past year, but certainly to the overall success of the Hawaii State Bar Association. Much mahalo and very much appreciated. Now I'm going to speak for a few minutes about the JSC election results. The Judicial Selection Commission, of course, we all know, is probably the most vaulted and the most important committee and commission in our legal community. The results of the election of the HSBA representative to the Judicial Selection Commission was certified recently by our Hawaii Supreme Court. Former HSBA president, I served under him, and he is a great man and a great leader, Jeffrey Portnoy, has been elected, and his term will begin on April 2nd, 2021. Jeff, congratulations. We now move on to very important things for the HSBA future, and that's the swearing in of the leaders in 2021. So at this time, again, as I say every time, a great privilege and a great honor that I ask our Chief Justice, Mark Rechtenwald, to administer the oath of office to our 2021 Senior Counsel Division President, Carol Richelieu, and our 2021 Young Lawyers Division President, Christopher P. St. Cyr.
All right, Carol, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me?
Yes.
I, Carol R. Richelieu,
I, Carol R. Richelieu,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the ideals and mission
to uphold the ideals and mission
of the Senior Counsel Division
of the Senior Counsel Division
of the Hawaii State Bar Association.
of the Hawaii State Bar Association.
I pledge to lead my fellow senior lawyers
I pledge to lead my fellow senior lawyers
in the division's ongoing efforts
in the division's ongoing efforts
to provide assistance to the members of our community
to provide assistance to the members of our community
who are not able to help themselves.
who are not able to help themselves.
I further pledge
I further pledge
to strive for the betterment of the profession
to strive for the betterment of the profession
by working to provide programs
by working to provide programs
which will benefit all members of the bar.
which will benefit all members of the bar.
Congratulations, Carol, and thank you for your willingness to serve.
Thank you so much for this honor. Thank you.
Christopher, if you would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Christopher Paul St. Sure,
I, Christopher Paul St. Sure,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the ideals and mission
to uphold the ideals and mission
of the Young Lawyers Division
of the Young Lawyers Division
of the Hawaii State Bar Association.
of the Hawaii State Bar Association.
I pledge to lead my fellow young lawyers
I pledge to lead my fellow young lawyers
in the division's ongoing efforts
in the division's ongoing efforts
to provide assistance to the members of this community
to provide assistance to members of this community
who are not able to help themselves.
who are not able to help themselves.
I further pledge to strive
I further pledge to strive
for the betterment of the profession
for the betterment of the profession
by working to provide programs
by working to provide programs
which will benefit all members of the bar.
which will benefit all members of the bar.
Congratulations, Christopher, and thank you for your willingness to serve.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm back again, and I'm thrilled to be able to close the meeting at this time. We are just a few minutes late, but we have been brilliantly moving, and mahalo to everybody for that effort. Before I close the program, I really want to thank again our sponsors. They have been amazing. Go visit them in the sponsors room. Talk story with them. They've also donated some really great prizes that I'm going to give away now. And boy, I wish I was eligible to win. There's some good stuff. So all of these prizes for the winners are going to be mailed to you individually, except for the backpack fun sets, which you have to pick up at the HSBA office. Call ahead of time to make sure they're available. Let me go through the list right now. Congratulations to all the winners. And more importantly, let's be honest, absolutely thank you to the sponsors for donating. You see the list. The first is a $500 Hawaii PI gift certificate for digital forensics and investigative services. It goes to Mason Yamaki. The $100 Amazon gift card donated by Fastcase goes to Linda Paul. The Amazon Echo Show donated by Smart Start is won by Kristen Sukiyama. The Hemic gift baskets go to Gilbert Keith Agaran and Malia Day. The $25 Aloha Barbecue Grill certificate to Cynthia Ching. The $25 Catania Restaurante certificate, you can tell I don't go to Italy very often, goes to Lisa Rydell. The $25 Monsoon India certificate goes to Janet Ashman. Congratulations. The $25 Aloha Mondays certificate, Charles Height. The $10 Sorto's Deli certificates go to Ashley Ueno, Gail Ayabe, and Bettina Lum. The $25 Verde restaurant certificate goes to Laurel Liu. Backpack fun sets, remember, pick up at the HSBA office. Given to us by Thompson Reuters, the winners will be contacted directly. Congratulations to those. The first Hawaiian Bank picnic themed basket, Bernice Littman. The Old Republic Title and Escrow Hurricane Preparedness Kit, that sounds like a real winner, Alan Keto. The Hawaiian Music CD set donated by Pacific Rim Concepts, and they are in fact to be thanked, mahalo plani. They're our virtual event planners. Goes to Max Phillips. Again, I say, please, I implore you to visit our sponsors and our exhibitors. They are amazing, these folks, and they will give you all kinds of information. See them before we go to the next program. Talk to them. I've walked through, I've give them our thanks. you need to do the same. And a huge mahalo to Leanne Choi and her team again at Pacific Rim Concepts. They made this bar convention virtually a success and a reality. We have been working with them for weeks, and it's been amazing. I tell you now that it's time to conclude our business in the 2020 annual meeting. I'm a little emotional because I have with me my grandfather's gavel. I wanted to use it at every meeting as we went forward, but we went virtual. But today, I am now going to adjourn the meeting by hammering it in his honor. Mahalo, everybody, for being here. We're adjourned.